So this is stated. It's an open source platform for collective decision making. And as a specific example, I will use AI governance. So right now there's the threat of artificial intelligence getting out of control, and everyone needs to quickly agree on rules internationally, which is very difficult. And this is an ideal use case for this platform. And so let's search for AI safety here. And here's a poll by a university, and there's 290 votes for yes, 44 for no. And the question is whether powerful AI systems should be prohibited from being open sourced. Let's have a look at this poll in detail. All the actions of users on this platform are contained in statements. And in this case, this statement defines a poll. So it's published by this university on this given date. And it's a poll among corporations. There's a deadline. This is again the describing the poll and the answer options. So at the bottom, there are all the individual votes from the different companies. And now the big advantage of Stated is that you can independently verify all of the actions of all the users without having to trust a single authority. So let's verify the vote from Airbus. So I open this in another tab, and then it links to the vote statement. So this is authored by Airbus. Here it's referencing the poll and their answer. Now, the first thing I need to do is to check if this statement actually appears on airbus.com or if the owner of the domain airbus.com verified this through other means. But now we will go with the easiest method, which is just to go to stated.airbus.com, see if they also publish this statement, and it looks like they do. In this case, where it's just a simulated environment, so this is not real data, but that's the approach to verify the intention of the owner of the entity that controls Airbus to publish this. Now, the question that remains is whether the company Airbus actually exists and whether they own this domain. And then here you can see there's 7 companies that verified this fact. So let's check, for example, this statement by RWE. So now this is an organization verification statement authored by RWE, and this verifies that this domain is owned by Airbus. And there's also a business register number of the company and the headquarters location and the employee count and a few other facts. And along with this, they specify a confidence rating. This means that they're 80% sure that all this information is accurate. And there's a link to the data reliability policy where they lay out the guarantees for the accuracy of this information. And now we can in turn question, does RWE, well, first we need to check, does this statement appear on rwe.com? Then if we have doubts in the ownership of this domain and the associated company, then in this case there's a SSL organization validation certificate that also verifies this identity. This is like an external verification coming from outside the stated platform, which further increases the credibility of this particular identity. So here we followed the trail of one verification chain. Now if we plot all the verifications in this demo data set, so the blue nodes are companies and the gray lines are the verifications between the companies. And here you can see that there's a small cluster of companies that have no verifications to this bigger cluster. And this might be a hint that this is actually a fake identities that are trying to manipulate the outcome of a poll or something like that. And you can use this as a criterion for removing it for analysis if you want to determine poll outcome, for example. So let's go back to the poll statement. So let's say I'm a company that hasn't voted yet, then I can click on vote. Then it will pre-fill this statement creation form with the reference to the poll, repeat the poll question, and then I can give an answer and enter my domain name that I will use for authenticating, and then it recognizes example.com and who is actually the owner of this one. Since I don't actually own this domain, I can't authenticate and post and submit this statement now. But here it lists the different options for authenticating to publish the statement. And there's other types of statements. So the simplest one is just a plain text statement where you can write anything. Then you can also sign a PDF document, so you can upload a PDF and then it's uniquely identified and referenced by the hash of the contents of the file. And you can verify an organization, a person, rate another organization's trustworthiness, create a poll, and if you want to publicly flag a statement that you think is not authentic and someone is impersonating someone else, then you can express this through this dispute statement, authenticity statement. So this is a quick overview. If you have any questions, please reach out.